Cheers, I do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? So I put a little more here than intentional. I use a shot glass to keep me from doing that, but my mind wandered. Uh, so yeah, I got a nice jigger glass. So I wanted to pour about a shot and a half in here, and then I wanted to add a little bit to make it 2 ounces. But I ended up with a nice three ounce pour here, which is a little more than I wanted. But what's done is done. Anyways, here we go. So what I've got here is classic Jack Daniels. I, Although I do cringe when I say classic Jack, because to me, classic Jack is a 90 proof whiskey. This is an 80 proof whiskey. And even though they tell you the recipe hasn't changed, flavors do change when you add more water to it, which is what happens when you take a 90 proof whiskey down to an 80 proof. You're adding more water to it, which will change the flavor even though you're not changing the recipe. So to me, this isn't classic Jack, but anyway, it is their old number 7. For the sake of this video, it's classic Jack using an old Jack Daniels Gold Medal number 7 glass from my dad's collection. This is a whiskey. Oh gosh, that actually wasn't bad. This is a whiskey that most people will either drink 2 ways. For the most part, people are either going to do this as shots to get drunk fast, or they're going to drink this with Coke in a highball, a Jack and Coke, the classic highball. You don't typically see this drank neat, and you don't typically see it drank on the rocks. However, like I just said there, I might be at that perfect, it took me a few minutes to get this video going, and I might be at, where I typically call the sweet spot, where I've got that right amount of cold, that right amount of water melting in there to really bring out the right flavors and brings those sugars to the surface, because what I got now is gorgeous. I've got a lot of sweetness coming on. I've got, again, I've got some oak, I've got some smokiness, some char, I guess, might be a more accurate way to describe that. I've got a certain amount of vanilla, but actually a lot less vanilla than I get from most bourbons. There's some argument whereas Jack Daniels is a Tennessee whiskey or a bourbon. Well, it is a Tennessee whiskey, but should it qualify as a bourbon? To me, no. To me, Jack Daniels is an entity all to its own. It's not a bourbon, but... And to me, a lot of that's about the flavors. It does not taste like a bourbon. It doesn't have the oak that some of your favorite bourbons will have. It doesn't have the vanilla, but there's a lot going on here. Again, I hate to stop drinking this because right now I feel I'm at that perfect. I'm right there, and I think if I get too much water in here, I'm going to lose it. I get some fruit in there because I'm getting some apricot that I hadn't noticed ever before having drank this. Again, the vanilla is light, but I'm getting that nice oak at the end. And I remember when I had it neat, I wasn't feeling as much oak as I thought I should be. Spice. This does use rye as a secondary grain. So you do get a certain amount of rye spice. And as far as barrel spice goes, you do get that little bit of cinnamon, but not as much as some of the other brand name bourbons that you will be aware of. I'm going to set that down just for a second there because I thought I would chase my classic Jack, classic bourbon. I'm going to use a bad beer chaser. My Life Coach Lager, second up, confidently crafted. All that stuff's horrendous. I'm not going to pretend it's not, but it does fall under that category. It is what it is. I mean, it's like that one friend you have. You don't mind hanging out with him every once in a while, but he's an asshole. He's going to do like me, And when people invite me out, well, it's Tom. He's going to be Tom. And it's kind of what this beer is. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to do what it does. Hate to admit it, but yeah, that is me. Whoa, that was close. That was a whole lot of close right there. Anyway, let me turn that camera up. Oh, that was really freaking close a couple different times there. All right, there we go. Okay, so now you know it's not a real fire behind me. It's a prop. It's my TV, but I like the ambiance, man. I just like what it does, man. Let me see if I can adjust here slightly. Man, it doesn't want to cooperate with me. There we go. All right. Anyway, back to the beer and the whiskey, man. So I poured this beer. I had some issues with the camera. And by the time I got back to the beer, that head is gone. I mean, that shit dissipated immediately. I mean, this really is a one horrendous beer. It's terrible, man. It's just not good. Anyway, I can't remember the price now, to be honest with you. It was like, 12 bucks a 30 pack or something ridiculous. And I mostly bought it because, well, I bought it because of the label. The name, Life Coach Lager, suck it up, confidently crafted. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a terrible beer, and that's kind of why I bought it. Because sometimes you just want it. It's like a Jack in a Box taco. You know what I mean? Those things are horrendous. They're terrible. They're not good for anybody. Nobody knows what they're putting in them damn things. But after a certain amount of beers, boy, Jack in the Box taco just hits the spot. Or the morning after. There is no better hangover food than a Jack in the Box taco. It's greasy as all hell. Got mystery something in there. I think it's a vegetable protein. I don't even think they're using any meat in it now, but it's one of those things. And that's what a beer like that is. It's the Jack in the Box taco of beers. Anyway, but I digress. Cheers. So I mentioned before the sweet spot. So to me, you pour a whiskey, you put it on the rocks or the globe, as it were here. You get that certain amount of cold, right? Certain amount of that right amount of water. It brings all those sugars to the surface. And I was right there before I had a little mishap with the camera. And right now I'm starting to swing just a tad past that. So I'm afraid not to drink the rest of this before I get too much water in here. But I will tell you again the flavors. What is surprising me is that stone fruit that I'm picking up that I've never picked up before in here. So I swear to goodness I'm picking up some apricot in here. You're gonna get some vanilla, some caramel. I'm gonna say caramel more so than toffee because it's more of a creamier feel than say a toffee. I've got friends that will like myself that will say Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey sour mash is not a bourbon. And I've got some other folks that will swear to goodness it is a bourbon. The mash bill, everything about it is a bourbon. I got to be honest though, as I'm drinking this right now against similar 80 proof big name bourbons without mentioning any names, you're going to know who I'm talking about. And this does not taste like that. Not only does it not taste like that, it doesn't drink like a bourbon. It doesn't drink like a brand name bourbon. It just doesn't. So for me, this isn't a bourbon. But, so what? Yeah, that's the problem with beer geeks and whiskey geeks. We want to argue about shit that just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Does it really matter? You want to argue about piddly ass stuff here and there. No, that is doesn't matter. No. Anyway. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, you know what? This I haven't bought actual Jack in a long time. I've been over the last couple years when they've had a specialty version of, or a limited edition, I guess, that comes out at 86 proof. I've been buying those because I like those a lot better. But I haven't actually bought this for a while. And I picked it up because it came with a highball glass. And I want to have that classic highball. And bottom line is, will I buy this again? Honestly, that particular price I bought it at, I might. But at the typical price it retails for, I will absolutely not buy it because there are other 80 proof whiskeys, bourbons that I personally prefer. I think Jack Daniels gets by on the name. I think a lot of people buy Jack Daniels because it's the name they know and it's the name they grew up with and it's the flavor they've grown up with. They don't care about the quality. It's like the people that drink certain macro beers. That's what they've always had. That's what they're going to always drink, and that's just the way it is. And they don't care about anything else. No matter what facts you drop on their feet, they're not going to listen to you. A lot like Trump supporters. They don't care what the truth is as long as that jackass keeps saying what they believe. They're okay with that. And it's the same with people have fallen in love with brand names like this. They drink it for the brand name rather than the quality. So there you go. However, and it is a rather significant however. The however is, having said all of that, I have enjoyed drinking this. And some of it is the nostalgia of the whiskey. Some of it is having the glasses that came down from my father. And now that I'm a man in his mid-50s, so these are rather old glasses. Yeah, they are. They've been around a while, man. So, but yes, I have enjoyed it more than I thought I would, to be honest with you. Um, but yeah, every once in a while I do buy those 86 proof versions because I kind of like them. I would love a 90 proof. I would love to revisit this, how it was actually supposed to be served. I am disappointed that they dropped this down to an 80 proof whiskey to save some money and still sell it like it's a 90 proof. That bothers me a whole hell of a lot. And it really bothers me that people don't talk about that more. The people that have been drinking Jack Daniels for as long as I have don't mention that as well. But anyway, having said all that, yeah, I have enjoyed it. So there you go. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, per rare wisdom, and uh, chasing with a bad beer here. Oh, boy, this really is horrendous. That's some badass shit, man. That makes Bud taste like Dom Perignon, man. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker. How many more people can I offend with this video, man? How many more are gonna get pissed off, man? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, beer wisdom, man. Again, bad beer in a good glass. Oh, cheese biscuits. That's going to hurt tomorrow. All right, good guy. Cheers.